video tutorial series of the operating system. I am your instructor Varshata. Let's start our lecture series. Today we are starting the new unit, that is unit number 8 in ICT and unit number 9 in IT, that is Unix and Linux operating system. Okay, so at the end of this video you will be able to learn about what is Unix. Then we will see what exactly is a shell. Then we will see the features of the Unix, then Linux architecture. After that we will cover the directory structure and we will see the difference, what is the difference between Linux and Windows. Okay, so let's start with what is Unix. Unix is a portable, multitasking, multi-user, time-sharing operating system originally developed by AT&T Bell Laboratories. Okay, several people can use the Unix computer at the same time, hence Unix is called the multi-user system. Why? Because multiple users can access the same system at a time, so it is known as the multi-user operating system. User can also run multiple programs at the same time, hence it is called the multitasking. Okay, Unix is also called the multitasking because we can execute more than one task at a time. There are many different versions of the Unix, although they share the common similarities. Okay, so the most popular varieties of Unix are Sun Solaris, GNU Linux and Mac OS X. So these are the different examples of the Unix operating system. The Unix system is made up of the three parts. Which are these three parts? That is the kernel, the shell and the applications. Okay, so what it means, let's see. The kernel we have already learned about the kernel in the previous chapters. Okay, so the kernel is that the part of the system which manage the resources of whatever the computer system it lives on. Okay, so kernel is the main function is what it manage everything for the operating system. The shell is a command interpreter. Okay, so it provides support for executing the command. Shell listens to your internal, translates your request into exchange on the part of the kernel and the many utility programs that is defined by the shell. What is application? Application which executes on the shell. It can be any utility program like a web browser, video player, etc. So every applications that can interact with the humans, okay, with the users. The file system is the organizing structure of the data. So here you can see this is the Unix operating system. Here kernel is there, shell is there and application is there. Kernel provides the hardware scheduler memory. Okay, shell provides the CLI, that is command line interpreter sequencing, and application is a user application, user demos, so that is known as the application. Now what is exactly shell? Okay, the shell acts as an interface between the user and the kernel. Whatever the command that is given by the user, that will be converted in the machine readable code using the shell, so that can be understood by the kernel. The shell is a command line interpreter that user commands are often entered on the command line interface that is provided by a shell. Okay, so user is capable of interacting with the shell using the command that can be understood by the user, and shell can translate this commands to the shell can translate this command in the language so that the kernel can understand and give the output according to that. The shell is a program that reads the user commands, evaluates it, and then prints the result. Okay, so how we can define the shell? Shell is a program that reads the user command that is given by the user and evaluate it. Suppose you are giving the command to read the file, so it will read the file. If you are giving the command that cat, a copy, okay, so it will work according to that particular command and then prints the result. For evaluating the command, the shell may execute the other commands or pass them to the kernel. If it is worked directly by the shell, then the shell will perform that command, and if it is not done by shell only, then it will pass this command to the kernel. Okay, shell commands are the case sensitives. Now, what are the features of the Unix? Okay, so first feature, it is a open source. Linux source code is a freely available, and it is a community based developed project. Okay, so the Linux code is a freely available. Multi-user capability, because at the same time multiple users can access. So in a multi-user system, the same computer resource, hard disk, memory, etc. are accessible to the many users. Users are given the different terminal to operate. A terminal in turn is a keyboard and a monitor. Okay, all the terminals are connected to the main computer whose resources are available by the all the users. Next, it is the multitasking capability. Okay, Unix is a powerful multitasking operating system. Multitasking, that means what? At the same time, you can execute numbers of tasks parallel. It means when an active task is in progress, there can be simultaneously background process working too. Communication. Unix has the excellent communication with the users. The communications may be written the network of a single main computer or between two or more such a computer network. That means the remote communication is there, or the communications at the local level is there. Now next is the security. So Unix has the three provisions for protecting the data: reassigning the passwords and login names, then read, write and execute the permissions, then file encryption. So it's provide the security. Then portability. Portability, that means what? The software works on a different types of hardware in the same way. Okay, so portability credit of the Unix is because of the C language. So because it is written in the C language, and C language is the portable, so that's why Unix has the portability. Now next is the Linux architecture. Okay, so these are the different layers in the Linux architecture: user program, utility program, standard library, kernel and the hardware. Okay, now first of all, hardware. Hardware is what? It consists of the physical device of the computer like CPU, memory, disk, printer, etc. Then next, this kernel. Kernel provides the services of the operating system like memory management, file management, process management. So all the major tasks of the operating system, that is done by the kernel. Then next one is the standard library. Standard library, that is what? The set of the procedure, collection of the system level files, etc. Then next is a utility program. Utility program, that means what? To make the user programs and make the work easier. That utility programs is the like editors that provide this editors that provides the interface to the user to write the program. A compiler and assembler is used to compile the program. Okay, then at last layer, that is a user. User, that is what? That communicate with this architecture. Okay, it comes for the processing and interact with the system. So user can use the applications program to interact with the operating system. Now these are the components of the Linux operating system. Kernel. Okay, this about this kernel already we have discussed in the detail. Kernel is the core part of the Linux. It is responsible for all the major activities of the operating system: process management, memory management, file management, okay, interrupt handling, everything that is done by the kernel. Then next is a system library. System libraries are the special functions of the program using which the applications program or system utilities access the kernel's features. Okay, then next is the system utility. System utility programs are responsible to do the specialized individual level tasks. For example, compiler will compile the program. Editor will provide the support to the user to write the program. So using that editor you can write the program, and using the compiler you can compile the program. Now which are the basic functions of the kernel? First one is the resource allocation. It manages the computer resources and allow the user program to run and use these resources. For example, CPU, memory, IO devices, etc. Then next one is the process management. A process defines which memory portions the applications can access to allow the executions of the applications and support them with the features. Next one is the memory management, that is defined by, that is also done by the kernel. It allows the processors to safely access the memory whenever it is required. Virtual addressing helps the kernel to create the virtual partitions of the memory in two disjointed areas, that is the kernel space and the user space. Kernel space is always reserved for the kernel and user space is for the application. It does the scheduling. The kernel uses the scheduling algorithm to determine which process is running next and how much time it will be given for each and every process. Next is the IO device management. That process needs the access to the peripheral connected to the computer, which are controlled by the kernel through the device drivers. It is the computer program. Device driver is what? Device driver is a computer program that enables the operating system to interact with the hardware devices. A kernel maintains a list of the available devices. Now, next function is the inter-process communications. So that is known as the IPC. It is the methods for the synchronization in the communication between processes are called the inter-process communications that we have learned in detail in the unit 3. There are various approaches of the IPC, says the semaphore, shared memory, message queue, pipe, etc. that we have learned in unit 3 and 4. Okay. Then next is the security or protection management. Kernel also provides the protections from faults, that is error control, and from the malicious behaviors, that is security. Then next function is a system call and interrupt handling. A system call is a mechanism that is used by the application program to request the services from the operating system. System call includes the close, open, read, wait, write, etc. To access the services provided by the kernel, we need to invoke the related kernel functions. Okay. Now next is a directory structure. Now what is a directory structure? A directory is a container that is used to contain the folders and files. Okay, so whatever the data you are going to store, that is what? A directory structure. Can you will you store each and every data in a single drive only? Okay, this is not possible. You have to make the proper folder for each and every data. Suppose you are storing the movie, you will make the folder, the name, it contains the name, that is movie. Suppose you are storing the songs, so you will you will give the proper name to the folder, that is song. Okay, suppose you have the OS material, so you will have the proper name, that is the OS material. So like this way you will store the file. Okay, so all the files are grouped together into the directory structure, and the top of the hierarchy is traditionally called the root directory, that is written as a slash. So here you can see the in this figure there is a root directory, after that home directory, after that there are subdirectories in it. Now what is the difference between Linux and Windows? So let's see. Linux is an open source operating system. Windows are the not open source operating system. Linux is a free of cost, no license, where is a Windows is a costly because license is required in the Windows. In Linux, its file name is a case sensitive, whereas in Windows the file name is not the case sensitive. Then next difference is what? Linux use the monolithic kernel and Windows use the microkernel. Linux is a customizable, whereas Windows are not customizable. Then next difference is what? There is a forward slash is used for the separating the directories, and here in Windows we use the backslash. It is used for the separating the directories. Then in Linux, booting is possible in either primary or logical partitions, whereas in Windows booting is possible only in primary partitions. And the last difference is the file system, that is ext2, ext3 and ext4. And in Windows the file systems are FAT, FAT32 and NTFS. Okay, so in this video we have learned what is Unix, what exactly the shell, the features of the Unix and the Linux architecture. Then we have covered the directory structure, and then we have seen the difference between Linux and Windows. Okay, so thank you for watching. Remaining interesting topic we will cover in the next lecture. Thank you.